Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year. I know it is not currently New Year's yet for me or 2026 for me, but you guys are seeing this video in 2026. But I had promised you during Bookmas that I would film myself finishing my yearly TBR. So that is exactly what I'm gonna do. So yeah. Honestly, right now it is the 29th of December, so we are well past Christmas and the past I think 4 days. Honestly, I did absolutely nothing but finish one book a day, except this one day where I finished two books. But I am here to just film from now onwards. And the last book that I still need to finish. Oh wait, before we get into that, we can talk about what books I read in the past like 4 days or 5 days. I'm not sure. Okay, the days and the time, the date, whatever, it's all like jumbled up. But I also feel like the in between time, I got a bit sick, so I did nothing, like absolutely nothing, just lay in bed and rot, which was kind of nice. But also now, after 5 days of doing that, I'm like, no, 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 no. I need to do something because I'm getting so restless. The books that I did finish in the past few days were the first three books in the Edens series by Daphne Perry, which is Indigo Ridge, Juniper Hill, and Garner Flats or Garnet Flats. I don't think they're really, really good. They're definitely good palette cleansers. I finished this book 2 days ago. I did say in my last Bookmas video, or in the last three books that I have to finish this year is Indigo Ridge, which I did finish, and I feel like it's meh. It's like nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking, but I do love a palette cleanser romance book. I need to finish House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, and I need to finish Onyx Storm. So I did finish Indigo Ridge, like I said, and I finished Crescent City 2 days ago. And oh my gosh, I think this is a 6-star read. I had thought that urban fantasy is not for me. I think urban fantasy is for me. Knowing that the characters have some sort of like dental hygiene or like some kind of hygienic I don't know, routine just makes me feel a little bit better about our characters for some reason. But I really, really love this. I can get into this a little bit more later, but right now, the book that obviously we are going to pick up, I'm going to take you guys along for the next few days until I have to upload this video, which is still a week or so away, so that's good. Is Onyx Storm. I started the first page and I put it down last night because I was like, okay, no, 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 I'm not ready yet. So yeah, right now I'm still in the middle of A Bond So Fierce and Fragile, I think, by Sylvia St. Germain, which is the third book in the Compelling Fates saga. I just thought I want to start this vlog before I forget to start it, but yeah. I do have a few clips of me reading Crescent City though, so enjoy that. But the book that we'll be focusing, obviously, for the next few days is Onyx Storm because we have 3 days, roughly, including today, to finish this book, which in the grand scheme of thing, I finished Crescent City and it was really thick, and this is not as thick as Crescent City, so I feel very optimistic towards this. I did read Iron Flame quite a while ago, and I read it on the Kindle, and I do not have it like transferred, I guess, my tabs, so I will be doing that as well. But yeah, that's pretty much the intro. I know it's a bit long, but we will be reading Onyx Storm, and I will be updating you a little bit on what's happening in Crescent City and how I feel towards it later on in the vlog. But yeah, without further ado, let's start this end of year and beginning of year vlog. I'd say like wrapping up 2025 and also resetting and just getting ready for 2026. So yeah, let's go ahead and start this vlog. So, hello guys. It is me quite a bit later, but I am here to give you a small update when it comes to Onyx Storm, and I thought it would be the perfect time for me to discuss a little bit on what I feel towards House of Earth and Blood. But before that, let's just oh gosh, I'm so sorry. But before that, let's just start with Onyx Storm. I'm currently on page 60, which is chapter 7. Things have been going down. I feel like, specifically with this book, things are written in a way, or like things are revealed to us in a way that is pretty complicated. Like, either I don't remember a lot about the political aspect of Iron Flame, so that's why I'm a bit confused in what's happening in Onyx Storm. And plus, I feel like some of the time, whenever they talk about the territories, I'm like, are they talking about the territories, or are they talking about the dragons, or are they talking about like specific things that I still don't know? I don't know. I just feel like I'm a bit lost. I don't know if I'm the one. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I refer a lot to the map and a lot to the beginning, which is like the info thing that they have, like, oh gosh, wait, my bookmark. The info thing that they have over here, which is like the name, the dragon they bonded, like the name of the dragons they bonded, and the signet, so on and so forth. But I feel like I kind of forget stuff. Like, I know what happened to Satan at the end of Iron Flame, which was quite crazy. And whenever it started, I'm like, wait, what? And then it was so confusing. I reread like a little bit of Iron Flame, and I still am quite confused. I think either I missed so much while reading Iron Flame, or it's just still not explained. Let's just say it like that. Obviously, I'm not going to say too much because it is the last book. Not the last book, I think, but this is the last book that is out in the trilogy. And I know that this is more than a trilogy, so definitely cannot say more. But yeah. The tension between Violet and Satan is very high, very crazy. I think I'm loving it so far. I'm not sure. I feel like things are like not a lot of things have happened. Like some things have happened. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm shaking you guys because right now you guys are placed on my bed, and obviously I'm sitting on my bed, so every time I move, I feel like you guys are moving with me, so excuse that if I keep shaking. But yeah, that's how I feel about Onyx Storm. I just really hope that it picks up. I really want to finish this book tonight, but I feel like it's not doable because I'm on page 60 and I think this book is like 500 page long. If I were to start this morning, maybe, but yeah, 520 something. I think for sure, like, further in, I would get more interested, more like hooked to the story. I really hope, because Iron Flame, a lot of people said like, oh my gosh, it was so boring, it was unnecessarily long. I honestly loved it, but I read it in September, guys, and now it's the end of December, and I feel like I don't remember a lot about the political aspect of it, which is quite sad because, like, for example, I read Mistborn and Mistborn trilogy, like Mistborn Era 1. I read it in January, and I still remember most of the political aspect of it, and I don't like going to the second, third book. There's nothing really that I was like really confused about. But I feel like with this, I need to like refer back and like, wait, what is happening again? And like, I don't know if it's because, like, I don't know if I'm too focused about the romance. I don't really care about the political aspect of it. I really hope not, because I feel like the plot is quite interesting, but I just forget some of the characters that are really important. Like right now we're talking about this guy called Takaris. Do I know who he is? Honestly, no. I really hope that in a little bit that my memory will get, like, they'll freshen up my memory a little bit, or they'll explain it a little bit again, but I feel like they won't. So probably have to Google that one or go back to Iron Flame and refer back. I feel like I should reread Iron Flame, but also I just read it like September. That's 3 months ago, and I feel like rereading a book that is that long, I don't know. I'm not in the mood for that. But I know that was quite a long update for Onyx Storm, but I have just a little bit update on Crescent City, because I think you guys probably want to know what I feel about this. I don't know. Maybe I just want to yap about it. So let's yap about it a little bit. But yeah, I honestly thought before coming into this book that I would hate urban fantasy. But like I said, the fact that they have some sort of hygiene, I do love that. Let's just say it like that. But I do think that what really gripped me in this book is definitely the mystery aspect of it, because I talked about this like whenever I first read this in the previous vlog, I think. I told you about the whole plot where our main character Bryce have friends and the friends got murdered, and obviously, and now he's tasked with this angel, the fallen angel, to figure out the murder, like who murdered the pack, because the pattern started to remerge, right? And I feel like the thing that really gripped me is definitely the mystery aspect of it, and also like the semi slow simmering tension burn, slow burn, whatever it's called, between Hunt and Bryce. I just love that they are keeping it pretty platonic, although some of the time I was like, bro, that's not platonic at all. And sometimes I think like, oh, such a good slow burn, because I read like a 700-page book, but in the grand scheme of thing, in the plot, it's really just like 2 months. Not even, I think it's just like a month. The thing is, a lot of things happened, and also the grand reveal of who the murderer was honestly so epic. And let me show you. Can you see the tab? I feel like this is so, wait, let me tilt it, like Sarah J Maas, because like in the beginning, I really just like, it's gripping me. But is it gripping me to the point that I want to pick it up every single time? Not really, although I read it in one sitting, but ignore that. But it's a typical Sarah J Maas when the last bit of the book is always so quite so intense. I loved it so much. I think I even started to like highlight the things that are happening. I hope you guys can see it. I cannot see it. You guys are so far away. But yeah. What do I feel about finishing this book is that I want to pick up the second book immediately. If I didn't have to finish Onyx Storm, I would probably be reading House of Sky and Breath right now. I was really nervous going into this book, like I said, because you cannot top ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. And I think so far, somehow I'm more interested in this book than Throne of Glass, although Throne of Glass was really good. And maybe I'm forgetting things. I feel like ACOTAR is always up there for me because it's one of the first fantasy, romantasy novel series I've ever read. So I truly adore that book, like that series in general. And Throne of Glass was really epic, but I was in like quite a reading slump. So I was definitely not in the mood to read fantasy. So I just don't have like a really deep connection with that book. Although if I were to read it now, probably it would be quite crazy. But yeah, and I feel like if I have to rank it so far from the first book only, I don't know the second or the third. I know a lot of people are pretty disappointed with the third, I think. Whenever it came out, I think last year, people were like, ooh. So I'm not sure about that. But based on the first book of Crescent City and all the books that I've read from Sarah J Maas, I might rank this number 2 higher than Throne of Glass. So that is quite an accomplishment because not a lot of series so far have topped Throne of Glass for me. Although this year, actually, I read quite a bit of fantasy that could top that. But I know a lot of people love Throne of Glass series. I do love it as well. But if I were to rank it, I think Crescent City might be a slightly higher. Of course, I'm biased because I probably just finished reading it. So yeah. Anyway, that is enough yapping so far. I feel like it's because I haven't yapped about books. I haven't talked about books in quite a while to anyone. And I've read like so many books this week, and although I read so many contemporary romance in the past few days, I feel like I need to stop. But all I want to read is All the Roads Lead Here, which is Mariana Zapata's book. It's Grace and the Grump. I really want to read that book so bad. But obviously, main objective of today and tomorrow is to finish up Onyx Storm. That is pretty much the update that I have for Onyx Storm, and a little bit of a book chat about Crescent City. Honestly, let me know down below what you think about Crescent City, because I feel like a lot of people do love Crescent City, but not as much as Throne of Glass. And I want to know your guys' ranking. I think that will be so interesting to see what you guys think of like all the Sarah J Maas's book. But yeah, anyway, I'm just procrastinating in starting Onyx Storm or in continuing Onyx Storm. So let's go ahead and read. So this is me quite a bit later, I think, since the last clip you saw. I think I filmed that like earlier while I was reading. I filmed it for like, I don't know, an hour, and now I think that was like also, I'd say 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Nah, more like 4 probably. And right now, can you see? It's 2 a.m. So I've been sat here for I don't know how long, guys, but long enough for me to contemplate why I did that, because I don't know whether I actually like this book or not. I think more no than yes. I know I sound very congested because I am slightly sick, but also I think staying up reading this book probably did not help my case, but I just have to talk about it a little bit. I will talk about it more whenever I'm not like overcome, I guess, with this emotion, because I'm just confused with the ending. First of all, throughout the book, I just keep wanting to put the book down. I know a lot of people say like, oh, Iron Flame is so slow whatsoever. I feel like Iron Flame was more fast paced and a lot of things happened more that I care about, at least. And like here, we went on a travel, we went to everywhere, and a lot of things happened. It's detrimental to the plot. And I can say the plot is really interesting, but also like sometimes they keep talking about things that I really do not understand, or it's like either I do not understand. I think I already talked to you about this, but like I just don't understand why I don't understand. It's the same thing with the ending. I think the ending was meant to be this crazy cliffhanger, which it is a cliffhanger of some sort. Is it crazy? I don't think so. And I feel like the ending, oh my gosh, I sound so congested. Sorry, guys. I know I sound icky. I'm gonna wrap this up very fast. But the ending was meant to be quite crazy, but I feel like the ending was more confusing than ever. I did probably spend like 20 minutes Googling what people think about the ending. And I don't know, because the thing is, this whole book, it's building up towards this one thing. And when this one thing happens, um, it's not really a surprise anymore because it's already hinted throughout the book that it's gonna happen. So even though when it happens, then it's like you said it from the beginning already, and if it doesn't happen, like yay, because it's not anything positive or anything like that. I don't know if it makes sense. I am intrigued for the fourth book. Will I read the fourth book? Probably. Will it come out anytime soon? I think from her interviews, like Rebecca Yarros, it's not gonna come out anytime soon. So I'm not banking my money on that, but it's just more like I'm so frustrated because I don't know. I read 520 pages of pretty much just Xaden and Violet pining over each other. And the main problem is Xaden. That's it. I think. Although it was interesting, like some of the plot points where we get to know a little bit more about Darna, and like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of interesting, and also obviously now we know things a little bit more with Adarna, and we know I don't know what I know, honestly. I'm just so confused, so baffled, and I'm so like hyped up because I'm so confused, and I just finished like a very stressful, high action. It's definitely 2 a.m. I cannot think right now. I don't know what I want to say, but I'm just gonna end it here. But pretty much, I finished my yearly TBR. Today's 30th of December. Kind of want to pick something up that is like chill. But I think for now, I'm not gonna pick any book up. But I'm just, please, if you're watching this and you've read Onyx Storm, explain it to me. Like, what was the ending? I was so confused. Like, probably the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 chapters of the next book will probably explain all my confusion. It's more like, why was it so complicated for no reason? Whatever just happened. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk more with my icky voice and blocked nose. But yeah, I'm gonna relax. Stop reading for a sec because I think I'm quite disappointed with Onyx Storm. And I know a lot of people loved it. I did not hate it, but I did not love it either. But honestly, it just gives me more questions about things that I really do not understand. Like, I don't understand what I don't understand because what the heck was happening? And if I were to not understand in some of the things that I do understand, I think it would grip me more in a way. But yeah, I'm just gonna continue reading on Reddit threads, whatever, what people think of the ending because surely I'm missing something. Anyway, good night, guys. I will update you what I'm gonna read next, but most probably it will be this book, I think. Either this book or this book. I need like a good reread right now because that book kind of disappointed me a little bit. But anyway, good night, guys. I'll see you whenever I do have updates, and you guys will see what I'm gonna read next. So, yeah, good night. Hello, guys. Happy New Year. I do sound still a bit sick since the last time I talked to you, and today is let me look. Today is the 4th of January. I have been sick, like quite sick, and I've just been chilling in bed and reading. So I do have quite a bit of updates, but today we will rectify all that, like chilling in bed, recuperating. I'm so sick of that. I want to do something productive. I want to get my life together. Today's Sunday and tomorrow's Monday. Tomorrow my work starts, which means today is semi the last day of me getting my life together before I have to go back into routine or getting forced back into routine. That is what we'll be doing. I printed out some book covers already because obviously, like I said in one of the videos in Bookmas, that I want to fully finish this 2025 reading journal, and just like store it away. So I want to like fully finish it and fully finish it, make it ready for storage so that when I flip through, I'm like, oh, I wish I could have done this before I actually like put it away. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna be doing today. Also, I'm gonna put down all the Christmas decorations that I have still up. Yeah, just doing all sorts of things to just make the place more put together. And even like I am setting up my Notion 2026. It's been quite a journey. I always forget how long it takes to set up a Notion homepage, let's just say it like that. So I'll be doing that today as well, or continuing doing that. But the past 5 days since I talked to you, I finished 2 books. First book that I did finish is You'd Be Home Now by Kathleen Glasgow. This is definitely a genre I don't really read. I think, is it drama? I think it's just fiction, maybe. I'm not sure what genre it is, but I borrowed this from somebody and I thought, you know what? Let's start off the year strong with reading this. And I read it. I think this book is very eye-opening. I didn't know that addiction is a really big topic. I don't think I'm smart enough to talk about this, but pretty much we are following our main character, Emmy. I don't know how to summarize, but pretty much this book goes through Emmy's brother addiction and how her life around that, so to say, because obviously now her whole family has to focus on Joey's recovery, if there is some sort of recovery for heavy drug addiction. And obviously, she is also in high school. She goes through bullying. She goes through like cyberbullying, even. Like, it is quite rough. But let me just read you the blurb because I don't know if I'm want to give it justice to what this book is actually about, but for all of Emery's life, she's been told who she is. In town, she's the rich one, the great-great-granddaughter of the Mills founder. At school, she's hot Maddie Ward's younger sister, and at home, she's the good one, her stoner older brother Joey's babysitter. Everything was turned on its head when she and Joey were in a car accident that killed Candy Montclair, the car accident that revealed just how bad Joey's drug habit was. 4 months later, Emmy's junior year is starting. Joey is home from rehab, and the entire town of Millhaven is reeling from the aftermath of the accident. Everyone is still telling Emmy who she is, but so much has changed. How can she be the same person? Was she ever that person at all? Millhaven wants everyone to live one story, but Emmy is learning that people are more than they appear to be. People like her brother who might not be cured, like the popular guy who lives next door, and most of all, like the many ghosty addicts who haunt the edges of the town. Everyone spends so much time telling Emmy who she is, maybe it's time to decide for herself. I think this book is really interesting, especially I did not grow up in an American high school, so I watched a lot of movies that are in American high school, and honestly, it is rough. The bullying that happened there is rough, and the thing is I was not aware that pretty much when you're an injury or when you go to doctors and they prescribe you pain medication, it's actually a pretty heavy pain medication. That's where most Americans, at least from what I get from this book, get addicted to some kind of drug because they get prescribed this pain medication, and obviously they're in injury, they're in pain, and when you take that pain medication you get this like bliss of no pain, and that's where it all began. And slowly but surely you keep taking more and more and more, and obviously you try more drugs, so on and so forth. That's where we ended up with Joey pretty much, and I feel like it is heartbreaking, for a lack of a better word, of like how the system is there. Like obviously we can talk on and on and on about how bad the healthcare system, whatever it is, but it's just more like they're prescribing the very thing that starts this whole like drug addiction phenomenon. Let's just say it like that. So it is sad that that's that. But I really think the ending of this book is as good as it could be. I don't know if there's like a good ending when it comes to this book. Obviously, it's as good as it can be. And when you try hard drugs, I don't know if there is a way out of that. I think it's a lifelong process of just recovery. So yeah, it's rough as well. And I think it's rough because we get to see Joey's point of view of how to deal with the aftermath of being a drug addict or like trying a heavy drug. But it's also interesting to see in the point of view of Emery because she is like, what happened to people around someone who's like recovering. So it's also interesting how her people pleasing tendencies is to like, oh, Joey's so loud and they're always fighting, the parents and Joey. So she wants to be the good one, but because she's the good one, she's not the trouble kid. She's also the invisible one, and how we see how she's struggling with that is very interesting. And also, they're teenagers. It's so sad and it's so heartbreaking to see that. But yeah, I think it is a really interesting book to read. It is very heavy and it can be triggering to some people. So please, if you can be triggered to this sort of like topics, please see the trigger warning, because I know sometimes when I see trigger warnings, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna get triggered by that. But it is true. With this one, please, just please, look it up before picking this book up. The next book I read, but I don't have the cover anymore, but it is the third book in the Compelling Fates saga. I started the fourth book last night, like the first page. How do I feel about it? I read the first and the second book in the span of 2 days, and it was really good. It was really what I needed. Like, I needed a fast-paced romantasy that is like too crazy world building wise, but also still interesting enough that I want to continue. And now that I'm in the third one, I feel like it gets really confusing. I mean, at least the ending is confusing. The main point of views is Frelina, Lesia, and Merrick, I think. And whenever we're reading Merrick's, it's pretty much just his love letter to Lesia, and it is really interesting. And I think if I were to be in a like romance mood, more in a romance mood, I think I would have loved it. I think I do love the aspect of him like pining over her, even though he has her already, and he can do nothing else but to just like give her the control. It was really interesting, for lack of a better word again. But I think in general, the plot is quite interesting. Although I kind of semi-guessed the ending. I mean, the very ending, what happened to Lesia, not really. But like the whole plot, semi. So it was kind of, it didn't put me off, because I always like like being able to guess what's coming next. Although it's not like I was guessing everything that was happening. It was just like roughly this is where it's gonna end, and I was correct. But yeah, I think either I want to continue to the fourth book right now, because I still have to choose my next read, or I want to read the fourth book, is it? Yeah, I think the fourth book in the Indigo Ridge, the Edens, I think it's called the Eden series, which is Jasper Vale. But I feel like after the third book, which is Garnet Flats, if I'm not wrong, yeah, it's so unbelievably toxic, the romance, and I'm just like, you know what, it's not gonna get better. But a friend of mine, we are reading this series together, and she finished it. She finished the sixth book, and she said the sixth book was really good. So yeah, maybe I push through to read the sixth book, or maybe I just stop and read the sixth book. We shall see. But another book that I was thinking could be a good contender to read next is All Roads Lead Here, which is one of my favorite books. I mean, all Mariana Zapata's books are my favorite books. I think this is one of the books that I reread the least. I think most of the books I read at least 3 times. I've never reread it, or I read it once. I reread it once. So we shall rectify that. And I've been seeing a lot of people reading this, so it's just like, okay, kind of want to read it. So we shall see. Yeah. But I think for now though, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this place a little bit. I know you saw probably a lot of cleaning montage over the past few days. Not the past few days. Like, you saw a lot of cleaning montage after Christmas, but today is probably the last cleaning montage of this vlog. This is a reset vlog. So bear with me. But yeah, and then afterwards we're gonna do a little bit of journaling. I know I kind of want to set up my January journal as well, or January spread as well, but I feel like I don't know. And I feel like my creativity lately has been just like plummeting. I don't know why. So I just want to sit on it a little bit more and think of what I want to, like, how I want my spread to look like. So yeah, I shall do that. But I think that's enough rambling. I rambled for 15 minutes here, so that's long enough. Let's just go ahead and clean and de-Christmasified our place. All right, let's do it. Okay, actually, I lied. I have one more thing to say. So reading/listening to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, so I shall have a listen at that while cleaning the place. So yeah, now let's go ahead and actually clean. So I was pretty much organizing my books and I realized I will not upload a monthly TBR for this month, which is January, and I thought, you know what? Let's just include it in this vlog a little bit. So I have I think 4 books that I want to read for sure. I feel like for January, I'm not gonna pile on too much. And also last year, I definitely made so many TBRs and did not follow any of them. So I thought this year I would be better at that. I will try and read the books that are in my TBR and try to like actually think of what I want to read this month. So I'm going to show you 4 books that I hope to read this month, and I think I will probably do it. Let's just talk through them. The first book I have is the book club's book of the month, which is A Darker Shade of Magic by V. Schwab. I'm so excited because I've been missing V. Schwab's world, and I know I wanted to read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, but I did not manage to do that. But this month, I will try and read A Darker Shade of Magic. And then the next one is me trying to work towards my yearly TBR. I am reading The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Hopefully it is good because I have put the 4th book, if I'm not wrong, in my yearly TBR, so I have to get through that. And this is also going towards my yearly TBR, which is A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, because the last book in the series is also in my yearly TBR. So I'll be reading this. And the next one is the book that I'm currently in the middle of. And I think I told you I was cleaning up this place and journaling, and I was listening to a book, which is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. So far, enjoying it. I think I would have had like a harder time reading this book if it were not on audio because of how cozy it was. I think though the romance will absolutely be epic, so I'm really excited for that. And I'm gonna add one more book to the TBR because this is definitely a book that I've been wanting to reread for a while, which is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I just got the paperback for it. I don't have any Mariana Zapata's books for a while, like physically, and I just got some physically and I want to reread them. So I reread From Lukov with Love because I got that on physical like last year sometime, and now I'm gonna read this. So yeah, I thought that could be interesting to just set aside a TBR for this month. But yeah, I have been procrastinating for too long. So let's just go journaling today before we do anything else. So yeah, and while journaling, I will also listen to Emily Wilde. So yeah, let's go ahead and do some journaling. So I don't know when was the last time I updated you, but since then I have finished a book and I'm about to end the vlog here because I think this vlog has gone on for quite a while, and I think honestly this might be longest vlog yet so far because I filmed it for, I wouldn't say almost a month, but about 2.5, 3 weeks kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, the last time I talked to you, I was reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Have not continued it, but I think honestly, compared to the first time reading it, it is much better. It is more interesting somehow. I don't know. I will continue reading this because I really want to finish it while the weather outside is super cold. It is like snowing all the time. It's currently like minus, let me check. Currently -2. Although the past few days it's been like -5, -6, so it's been quite crazy. But since I finished, what was it called? A Promise So Bold and Broken? A Promise So Fierce and Fragile, I think. If I'm not wrong, A Promise So Fierce and Fragile. Is it A Bond So Fierce and Fragile? Okay. I feel like the names are like mixing up a little bit. And I did start A Fate So Dark and Fragile. Delicate. A Fate So Dark and Delicate. I remember that one. I finished, no, I didn't finish that, sorry. I started it. I am probably on chapter 2. Decided to put it down because I'm like, okay, I don't want to continue reading the series as if for now. I will finish it January, do not fret. But I'm like, okay, I really want a book that is like very good, that grips me, because lately I've been reading a book and I just keep checking the pages. I'm like, okay, when is this going to be over? And obviously I need to pick a book that could combat that. Like, it's not a reading slump, but it's about to be. I think this is like one of the symptoms how I get reading slumps, when I just keep checking the pages and I'm like, okay, when is this going to be over? And obviously, to rectify that, I decided to pick up a book that I thought would get me out of my reading slump, which is All Roads Lead Here. I started this book probably 2 days ago. I finished it last night. So yeah, it took me like 24 hours, even less, to read this. I think, honestly, I read it probably in 2, 3 sittings. Okay, you cannot see the tab so much, but I forgot how much I love this book because I think this is one of the books that I read initially that I was like, I don't think this is a 5-star. But now, reading it when I'm like much older, I think I read this first. I'm not sure when, but it's been for sure for like 5 years ago or so. So yeah, it is very interesting to see what I think of this. And of course, I rated this 6 stars because at this point, all Mariana Zapata's books are 6 stars for me. But if you guys know any other authors that are like Mariana Zapata, please let me know because I need more books like this. But yeah, now I was thinking like, okay, let me continue with A Fate So Dark and Delicate or Emily Wilde's, but I feel like I don't want to read them. I don't think I'm in a reading slump. I'm just not sure what I want to read next. So I decided to pick up Wait for It, and I'm already quite far in. So hopefully I get to finish this tonight. But yeah, honestly, in this vlog, we did so much like resetting for the year, even like putting down my Christmas decorations. I don't think I showed you me doing, what is it called? Me setting up my Notion, but I did set up my Notion and it is done. It is always the most tedious thing, I feel like. But yeah, I think that might be it for this vlog though. Like I said, it's probably going to be a long one, so enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you had a good start to 2026. And I will catch you in my next one. Goodbye.